Now that we have the base game done, let's go ahead and add some team scores. So score for counter terrorist and terrorist, so you can see how much you have won in rounds. So let's go ahead and go down to the UI, go to the main UI, and in the main UI, we are going to do the rounds up here. So what I want to do is I basically want to show you what we're trying to do so it's easier to understand. So this is what we're trying to do, having a score for counter terrorist and having a score for terrorist. And again, break this down, see what elements you need to use and try to do it yourself if you want to without my help because you should be able to by now. And if you still need some help, if you're not sure, let's go ahead and do it together. So first we need a horizontal box because there are two elements beside each other. So let's go ahead and search for horizontal box. And let me make sure I don't put them inside of here. Just drag the horizontal box into the canvas panel. So it is inside of here. Make sure the anchor point is in the middle of the screen. And if you write 0 in the X position, this one should be in the middle. So we need to adjust the X alignment to 0.5. And in the position of the X, I'm just going to say 30. Actually, not the X, the Y, 30. So it is not on the edge of the screen. And again, size to content. Okay, so now it's going to size to whatever content I have inside of here. So first, let me add an overlay. And inside of this overlay, we need an image because we need a background. And so I add this image to the overlay. And for this image, let's just search for panel, the same panel we have been using so far. So this one panel doc. And again, change the draw as to box, margin to 0.5, 0.5. And now we can stretch it. So now at 1 in the zoom, I can see how large it is. And I don't think I will make the size here. I think I will actually control this later. So let me just write 32 by 32 once again. I'm just going to control it down here. So first, let's have a vertical box because we need two text on top of each other. And we need the first one. So let's just search for text, put it inside of the vertical box, duplicate this one. I'm going to click on both of them. Actually, let's copy the style of this one. Let me click on it, hold shift and right click, click on both of them, hold shift and left click. So we paste the style. I'm also going to copy, let's see here, for the shadow, we don't have any shadow applied. Um, and that should be fine. We don't have outline either. Okay, this one's fine. Let's now select both of them. And what we need to do, actually, let's edit the first one. Let's say counter terrorist. And let us just write one here. And let me maybe write a dash here. And for this one, I'm going to put it here in the middle. Actually, this one as well. Put this in the middle. Put this in the middle as well. Also here in the justification, I'm going to set it to the middle. And now click on the lines to remove the dashes. So now we need some space between them. And before I do that, I'm also going to change the font size. I think it's a bit too large. So I'm going to set it to 20. And clicking on this overlay, we have the image. Then we have the vertical box. So I'm actually going to put some margin on this vertical box. So let me just write, or padding. So let me just write 30. And this is what it looks like now. And I think this is fine. So 30 is fine for this vertical box. So we pushed the vertical box away from the edges of this image. And I'm going to change the color of this one and just try to find whatever color you like here for the counter terrorist. I'm going to reduce the saturation a bit and maybe something like this is fine. Okay, so I have the counter terrorist and let me just add a space between these two. If I just search for space, add them between these two texts. And for the Y, let's write 10 maybe. And that is a bit too much. So let's write 5 and take a look again. So I think, yeah, we need more. So let's say 8. 8 for the spacing. And let us just duplicate this. So I'm going to duplicate the overlay because we are in the horizontal box. So it's going to add another one beside it. Let me change this one to terrorist. Let me change the color here, the hue, to something red. So just 0 here. So it's red. And I'm going to reduce the saturation slightly because I think it's too much. And the saturation is 0.8. Okay, and I'm going to do that for the other one as well, changing it to 0.8 so it stays the same. And let's add a spacer between these two. So if I take the spacer again, add them between these two overlays, and then for the size and the X, let's try something like 50, maybe something less, maybe not 50. Let's try 30, and I think this is fine. Okay, so if we compile now, and let us just change those variables because we are going to use them later. So this one, the number, call this txt counter terrorist score. I'm going to copy this and make sure this is variable because we need to modify it later. Click on the other one, call it text terrorist score, make this variable as well. And I'm going to click on all of them and making sure that the visibility here is set to not hit testable because I don't want the mouse to interact with them. Okay, so if you just click on play to take a look at what it looks like, and this is what it looks like, and I think everything is looking good. So let us move on to the next one.